Again, we are continuing our healing retreat. It's been a little while and we've been practicing together. It's been wonderful. Again, as I said yesterday, one of the again beautiful time that we are spending in a way together, inspiring each other, and also some degree kind of reminding each other our practices that what we follow our heart, and which is really wonderful. And so I thank for you all of you for your participation and your enthusiasm and joy of the practicing Dharma. And thank you. And now with this, again, we're going to follow the teaching, and particularly this teaching we're following the highlight by the Khenpo Dongyal Rinpoche. So again, for that, with all the different genres, not just only this time, but as you all know, we should activate our beautiful motivation, and with motivation of the joy and the appreciations, and as well as vastness motivation of the Bodhichitta, and the purity, understanding, or the realization of the entire this phenomena existing. Those are all so important. In particular, also, when we're talking about the joy and appreciation, we should also be more grateful, graceful. Gratitude is really so important, so good. In a life, we have so many beautiful things, beautiful situations and circumstances and opportunity. We are surrounded by this. Particularly for all of us who are maybe in this retreat, really, to compare with many in the world, what they're going through, challenge and difficulty, troubles, and to compare with them and look to us and read our situation, read their situation, we have so many ways to thankful, to grateful. When we thankful, grateful, that is Dharma, according to Buddhism, Buddha's teaching. That is Dharma. It's not we're going on the side track of the Dharma, we are mainstream of Dharma. When practice with the joy and appreciation, being grateful, where we practice, that's the way really to move forward. That's the way to advancing the teaching and developing our realization with joy. And then with graceful, thankful, gratitude, we combine the Bodhichitta, purely understand of the Vajrayana teaching. Truly, it is absolutely pure, so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's healing to ourselves and healing to the others. At the same time, it's the great purifications, purifying our obscurations, obstacles, some really helping to the others too. But therefore, this motivation, this kind of this intention to activate in that means we're touching to our core of true nature of mind. Normally we can't ignore or we missed up that because we're looking somewhere else and not looking to the way it really coming, what we need. We're completely distracted. That is the duality. That is the hindrance. That is the way going to the samsara continually. But when we should look to our own situation, circumstances, and bring more joy and appreciations. And in all ancient great masters, those like, for example, those who practice in bodhisattvas or bodhisattvas, every situation they feel grateful. Not just having good time or good situation. Every situation. When they have troubles, they are grateful. When they have a good time, they are grateful. How that's it? I mean, you all know that. You heard those things. We all heard. You heard what the teaching said. I'm happy if I'm sick. I'm happy if I am sick because I am cleansing the bad karmas. I'm happy if I'm not sick. I can increase my meritorium and good deeds to all the beings. Whatever is good, I'm going to use that for to increasing, develop my realization, strength, courage, and commitment of the Bodhichitta. That's what really said many times. When we are suffering in sadness, we're cleansing purified. We're learning. When we get sad and sick, sad and sufferings, take that is gratefully, according to Bodhichitta. Yesterday we were talking about only practice. We're taking that suffering. Feel that you're taking the suffering, the difficulty of other beings. So the other beings are not going to get sick in troubles. Really, only practices. So every situation, circumstances, transforming into the path and develop our realization. So therefore, the courageous ones of the Bodhisattvas never defeated by any situation, circumstances. They're moving forward, they're moving deepening their practices, they're getting increasing their realizations. That's what really the teaching said. And that's what all these great practitioners or those masters will read life story of these great teachers, masters, how they did. So therefore, kind of bring up those joy and appreciation, being grateful is so important, so special. Special. Many times we are poor of the being grateful. We're poor of our life of gratitude, because our ego clinging is so powerless, so miserable. No matter whatever we do for the ego, is never satisfied. Never satisfied. Even you have the whole world is your own, still I'm sure the ego will not be happy, not be satisfied. Still something need more. Something need more. For so many people, when they come to completely obsessed with this ego clinging and greedy, and we see and ended up the troubles. Even in this lifetime, we saw so many those powerful beings, powerful men, powerful people, who high positions, they obsessed, they grasping and doing all things and never enough, never ending, ended up they are completely disaster status. Why? Because greedy and so ungratitude. Those are the teachings, exemplataries. For those reasons, really grateful, being grateful is so important. Along with the Bodhichitta, it's all arises generally with Bodhichitta. When we have the good heart of the Bodhichitta, that all comes. When we have good joy and appreciation, we're exploring our good nature, as I said, nature of the mind. So therefore, we should not miss the opportunity. We should not miss our point. Our best and home sweet homes. Those are our home sweet homes. We should really activate those with that richness heart of the grateful joy, bodhicitta, and then practice. Then it's so wonderful, it's so strong, beautiful, humble, simple, smooth, and deepening, advancing on the bhumis and paths. So therefore, those are really important again for all of us, and we should always remind to each other us that, and we should remind every day to us. In the morning, we will wake up, should have what I'm talking, these good motivations, joy and appreciations, being grateful, bodhicitta. Start day with that. It's so wonderful. It is healing. And also, when we go to bed, sleeping, and we can remember that. Again, he activated those joy and appreciations in bodhicittas. And during the daytime, have those thoughts too, as many as you can. Those are the heart essence of the practice of the Buddha Dharma, teaching, of the gracious teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni. So those are, again, with those understanding, and then we again follow with the teachings, what we're doing. Again, of course, we follow the instructions of the great master Lungkipa and the great masters. I'm started talking about the first noble, second noble, and third noble, and now we are again talk a little bit about the first noble. First noble is the intentions, and the intention is the same thing I just said, that joy in appreciations and bodhicittas, and those are in the devotion with the 4 renunciation thoughts. Those are said. It's not just only in the beginning time, but here, for example, his Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, Jagje Dudjom Rinpoche listed, those are the treasure or the wealth of the practitioners, the permanent wealth of practitioners. Wealth. That means that if we have those intention, thought, quality in our heart and mind, we are very wealthy practitioners. Spiritually, we are really wealthy practitioners. When you're spiritually, when you're a wealthy practitioner, that individual is very rich. That individual is really rich. Material wealth can be very rich, but still mentally poor. Mentally really poor and very miserly and stingy. But spiritual wealth, that is the richest persons. And that is a story often Khenpo Rinpoche said many times to all of us, many times. Once, in the 11th century, the great master, Sajja Pandita, was a great master of Tibet, of the Sajja schools of Tibetan Buddhism, and Sajja Pandita was the one of the mostly famous masters, scholars in the Tibetan Buddhism, and I think all in the world. Definitely, he's standing tall in the scholarly, very tall. And then realization level, he is the emanation of the Manjushris. But so, when Genghis Khan began to exploring, interested on the spiritual, he heard the reputation of the Tibetan Buddhism and the particularly reputation of the great Sajja Pandita. So he invited to there's long stories, of course, his stories, but finally when Sajja Pandita went to the Genghis Khan's court or the palace, in his palace, and even though Sajja Pandita is quite old already, the old age, but because of his concerning thinking of all the other subjects and other beings, Sajja Pandita thought, if I go to see the Kublai Khan for his wish, that will bring more benefit to the subject and all the beings. Then, so therefore, with this intention, he went to the Kublai Khan's court and stayed. So Kublai Khan Genghis Khan and according to that what I heard. And then we decided, they had discussions, all that in Tibet, who is the great master, who is the great scholar, who is the richest man, who is the most efficient man in the Tibet, all those kind of, this great Khan asking to the Sajja Pandita. So Sajja Pandita answered one after another. So first he said, Genghis Khan asked, who is the richest man in Tibet? He said, Kara Gomchon. Kara Gomchon is the richest man in Tibet. Who is the most efficient man in Tibet? Is the Malarepa, is the most efficient man in Tibet. And who is the more kind of like educated man in Tibet? And he said, that considered me. He says, kind of referring to himself that. And so he asked many different those questions. So then this great Khan, in according to the history what I heard, or that, then he sent messages to check up those things. So reality, and when he came to check up those things, the message went into Tibet and he checked those and went back to King's court, and then he reported that. So he went to Kara Gomchon, the richest man of the Tibet, went to see that Kara Gomchon, the great masters. So when he went to this richest man to Tibet, the most richest man of Tibet, when he went to see him, Kara Gomchon is sitting in a cave. One mattress That used to be his cushion. This is his blanket. One mattress. That is. And what is cup? What kind of cup? He has yak hoop, I think. H-O-O-F. Hoop. Yak hoop. The yak hoop. That is his cup, his bowls. So this is the richest man, what great master Shakyamuni referred richest man of Tibet. So it's completely kind of way what we think is quite a difference. The most efficient man, that means who is most successful, very successful man in the world, in Tibet. He saw the Malarepa, the man who said Malarepa. Malarepa, who was? He used to call in his songs many castles. And those are the caves. There's no really castles. Those are Malarepa named different castles. And so he was really nothing again like in an old level. He is an old man, and with that say, nothing really kind of very thin cloth, fabric cloth that he's wearing, but thin. And so this is what. And they stay in the cave in the mountains. And this is the most efficient man in Tibet. Then the great scholar, that is confirmed as Shakyamuni is the renowned one. So that's true. So when he went back and reported that, and then again Khan and they had discussions. So why you say that the richest man in Tibet, the Karagom, who is maybe one of the poorest men in Tibet? Why you say that? Shakyamuni is not measured by the wealth or material wealth, but outside, but it's measured with heart, with contentment. How much contentment? Karagom is perfectly fine with all those mixtures. That's what he has. He's so happy and so rich. He got everything what he needed for today, to reach enlightenment, to benefit for all the beings, his two practices. So therefore, he is the most richest man in Tibet. Therefore, the contentment is really known as the richest. And that's why great master Nagarjuna said, honor his teachings, let it to his friend. Said, among all the wealth, the contentment is the most richest ones. For that reason, O great king, O my friend, increase the contentment. Increase in the contentment. That's what really the great Nagarjuna, the master Nagarjuna said to his friend, Dudjom. That he said. So this is really true. Being grateful is so important, so rich. And it just makes so rich. Even you don't have enough things. But that enough, what you have enough, it becomes the equivalent of the trillionaires or billionaires. Truly billionaires. That's it. When you don't have the contentment, even if you have the trillions or the $1 billion, billionaires, still you're poor. Still trying to grab, hungry, thirsty, trying to grab, day and night. And then dead with death, died with like that mental attitude, the power status. So die with poor. Stay whole life with poor, with billionaires. Can you believe that? How that happened? Can it truly happen? And so therefore, this joy and appreciation is so important. We do this thought, and then we're talking about the Bodhichattas. Bodhichitta is essential to reach enlightenment, as we did discussing, or to benefit for all living beings, and to also make friends to all the beings. And we would like to have more friends, increase in Bodhichitta. And we like to remove the suffering difficult, increasing Bodhichitta. Bodhichitta is everything. Therefore, Bodhichitta is wish-fulfilling jewels. It fulfills all the wishes, good things we will fulfill in the samsara, good things we will fulfill in the nirvana, and therefore Bodhichitta is a wish-fulfilling jewel of samsara and nirvana. It's so special, beautiful, and that's what really in the teaching said. And those are all the great practitioners, masters did practices. So this Bodhichitta divided in according to the teaching, two Bodhichitta. First is wishing Bodhichitta, and the second is actualizing Bodhichitta. And the wishing Bodhichitta, when you have the wishing Bodhichitta, how we develop. And with this best, primary is compassion. Compassion with wisdom combined together, and thinking about all living beings, we rise up the body with that thought of Bodhichitta, and then Bodhichitta is activated and practiced by the four boundless. When four boundless are well, kind of quite good, understandable, and then do the Tungli practices. Tungli practice is one word or one of the practices among those three. As I said Tungli yesterday, as I said, or the other day. First is equalizing, Dagi Nyamba practices. Second is Tungli practices. Third is Davi Yinji. Others are more important than myself. Those three are the exercising of the four boundless practices or wishing Bodhichitta mentally. Four boundless practices also mentally practices. But that also doesn't mean you cannot do physically. You do as much as you can do according with the capabilities. But mainly is a practice of the mind, mentally expanding. That means most of the time in the samsara, our mind is very limited, closed with boundaries. But this time, we're breaking the boundaries and spreading the loving kindness beyond the borders and separating the compassion beyond the borders or beyond the borders, and spreading the joy and the rejoice without the borders, and the equanimity without borders. That is known as four boundless. That is actually in the teaching, that is nature of the mind. Nature of mind has no border. We made border. That means dualistic, duality mind made border is to connect it with the ego clinging or grasping and clinging. Ego clinging and grasping are obscurations. They are the hindrances bring the peace and happiness, or ultimate peace and happiness. Therefore, break the border is important. So now, those are what we've been discussing. We've been discussing this four boundless or the wishing bodhicittas. Now I'm going to summarize that wishing bodhicittas. Now, wishing bodhicitta, we should always preserve. We have to keep. This is the foundation of the actualizing bodhicitta. Wishing bodhicitta is a foundation. As a foundation, at the central column, we're going to maintain that. And to maintain that, what the great master Longchenpa said in the teaching, it's not just only Longchenpa, great master Nagarjuna, Vasubandhu, or the Buddha Shakyamuni said. There is four positive things should always keep, and four negatives are avoided to maintain, keep up the bodhicittas. And the fourth is honoring. First is honoring to the noble ones. First is honoring the noble ones. Then I go into the details each of those. So first I will list it, and then we go over that. The first is honoring the noble ones, or honoring the two venerables, honoring to the venerables. And the second is entrusting of the good things, or rejoicing, acknowledging of the good activities. And third is praising the noble deeds. Praising the noble deeds. And honesty to all the beings. Honest to all the beings. Those are known as the four positives. Four positives. Fourth is Fourth one is honoring to all the venerables. That means to honor to the elders, your elders, knowledgeably elder, agedly elder, or the spiritually elder. We should honor them. Particularly bodhisattvas, one who you're learning the Bodhichitta. We're learning the Mahayana teachings. So ever who is elder, we should always honor them and always respectful. When we do that, what it will do, it will maintain our bodhicitta. It will help us to maintain our principle of bodhicitta. Should honor venerables. And that also included the elderly persons. Those elderly persons, such as our parents, our teachers, our spiritual teachers, our regular teachers who showed us whatever it is, he showed us knowledge and skills, methods, respect, and particularly, of course, bodhisattvas, who showed us teaching clearly. So respect and honor. These externally you're honoring those, but inwardly we are strengthening our bodhicitta. Then the next one is acknowledging of the good deeds of others. I think that's maybe I translated. Acknowledge. That means anyone who is doing good things, good deed, particularly deed of the beneficial thought, or good heart, loving kindness, compassion, or good heart, community level, public level, and a larger level, or even a small level. If we're doing something good, we should acknowledge. Very good. Appreciate. That means rejoice. Joy and appreciation. You're kind of honoring, acknowledging, remembering of the good deeds of others. What it does, it will help us to maintain our principles. So we know which is good, which is bad. We at least acknowledge. It's so important to sustain, to maintain our wishing bodhicittas. Or bodhicitta. A symbol to the bodhicitta to maintain. And then praising to the noble ones. Praising the noble ones. That means particularly bodhisattvas. Any bodhisattva who's doing work and helping, supporting, benefiting to the other beings, whatever degree, level, from the really good heart, if we see, we should always praise them. Wonderful, beautiful. And same time, may I able to do same thing, what they're doing. May I can follow to help, benefit of others, as these individually nobles are doing. Noble doing, kind of acknowledging, same time praising. Mentally praising, verbally praising, physically praising, such as folded hand in a Buddhism. Folded hand is honoring. Honoring and praising or greeting. Greeting. Or whatever the tradition is, body languages. To that honor, that is known as praising. So externally you're praising that, but inwardly we're strengthening the principle, value of the bodhicitta. It's going to help. And then, fourth one is to be honest to all the beings. Honest. It's simple, honest. is truthful, nice and kind. So that means what we do, that match with heart. From the heart, it's coming, not pretending, not kind of like the kind of covering up that, but honest, physically honest, verbally honest, mentally honest, with love, with compassion, with wisdom. And we do that, what in the teachings, it will help to maintain the bodhicittas. Those are known as pure positives. And the pure negatives is exactly opposite of that. So if we do pure negatives, opposite of that will hurt, damage our bodhicitta. First is instead of acknowledging or honoring, maybe I said honoring. Honoring that, and is deceiving the vulnerables. Deceiving. So, deceiving the vulnerables. That means you are doing something kind of like saying pretend as truth, but reality is pretending. So deceiving. That it will damage the bodhicitta. And therefore, kind of like whatever your heart should be that. So honor. Pretending or kind of deceiving is cunning. It is negativities. For that reason, it will damage bodhicitta. Then it will damage what it will be. It will pile up the obscurations, negativities. So therefore, kind of like honor. And the second one is, second negative is then not acknowledging, but instead you're kind of almost trying to make guilty of the others' good performance, good deeds. And even there's no reason, but because due to the, again, some emotions, even they're doing good and the activity is so beautiful, special, but kind of trying to make every way, make guilty of the individual one who did good things. That is again negativities. What it does, it will damage our bodhicitta. It will create obscurations. And then also, of course, we're not instead inspiring and helping to the others, then we also kind of completely their interest and enthusiasm damage the others. So that is second negativity that damage, undermine the bodhicittas. And then next one is next one is instead of honoring to those bodhisattvas' deeds, and we are criticizing. Criticize the bodhisattva activity of the generosities. Criticize of the bodhisattva activities of the moralities, or passions, or whatever way, trying to kind of criticize them, making comment and all the things. That is negativities. It is, of course, will damage the benefit of activities, but deep down, it is undermining, uprooting our bodhicitta. Our bodhicitta, the precious jewel of the bodhicitta, is scarred, or it is stained. We're staining it. Then, fourth negativity is always drawing or using the cunning and hypocrisy activities to the other beings. Hypocrisy or cunning. Or I think also there's a word called swirling. Swirling?
Swindle?
Swindling.
Huh?
Swindling.
Swindlers or cunning or deceitful. Deceiving. So that means pretending nice, beautiful, cover up reality is bullshit. Oh, I'm not going to say other words. It's not good. It's bullshit. It's a cover up, still cover up the bullshit. It's sooner or later it's not going to feel good. so this is the, even though it's a short time, folks, but then it's not that for time being purpose. It is undermining, damaging our Bodhichitta. Bodhichitta, which fulfilling jewel of the Bodhichitta, the precious jewel that we are upholding is really damaged. That means that we are deceiving all the beings and all the enlightened beings. When we talk rough Bodhichitta vows, we invited all the beings for 6 realms. We invited all the gods. We invited all the invisible beings. We invited all the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Bodhisattva. In front of that, we declared that today I'm going to take the Bodhichitta vow to benefit all living beings. I'm going to follow with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Exactly what you did, I'm going to follow with that same way. We declared that, not loudly. And then also in the teaching, so it said when we take the Bodhichitta vows, and all the gods and Buddhas and enlightenment, everybody is rejoicing. And we said, to declare that, we told to all the beings, today I am inviting you to be my best friends. So from now on, I'm not your enemies. I'm not your opponent, but I am nothing but in your services. That we declared. And now we are doing this cunning and deceitful. So we are deceiving, not just one single beings, 2 single beings, but all the beings according to the teaching. And not just one Buddha, 2 Buddhas, or one Bodhisattva, or 2 Bodhisattvas. We are deceiving, all the trying to deceive, even though we cannot deceive the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but we are just trying to deceive. Cover up our eye in performing some blindfold activities. Then what it does, it damages our Bodhichitta. So therefore, it is so important, so precious to preserve this jewel. This jewel is not just a jewel, as I said, short time period. This jewel of the Bodhichitta, the love, kindness, compassion, is jewel of all the time and to all the beings, every living being. This is so special, so beautiful, so powerful. Therefore, in it, what in the teaching said, Great Master Khenpo said, what in his teaching said that remembering always, in order to preserve the Bodhichitta, remembering always the benefit of the Bodhichitta, power of the Bodhichitta, benefiting to myself while benefiting for all the sentient beings. Remembering and never give up the other beings. Never give up. Never going to give up any living beings. From my eye of Bodhichitta, or my compassion of Bodhichitta, radar, that I'm not going to give any living beings. And praying always to Buddha's Bodhisattva, may I able to maintain the Bodhichitta, and accumulate the merits as much as we can, and dedicating that merit to maintain the Bodhichitta, to benefit of all living beings. Those are in the teachings of the Great Master Khenpo highlighted, but it is of course Buddha teaching, but highlighted that will help to keep up the Bodhichitta strong and fresh, very authentic, not kind of decline the Bodhichitta or getting kind of expiring the Bodhichitta. It will remain freshness. As it started, it remains fresh. Not just fresh, it's expanding, it's growing, it's blooming. So that is really the Bodhichitta. And now, once we develop this bodhicitta beautifully, and then we enter the actualizing bodhicitta. So that means actualizing bodhicitta is based upon the reaching bodhicitta. We reach it. And the actualizing bodhicitta is then principal part of the practices. When we follow with the teachings of Longchipa, beginning noble, middle noble. So this, the actualizing bodhicitta is a middle noble. Middle noble practice without the grasping, without the clinging, and we can. That is actualizing bodhicitta. Actualizing bodhicitta can divide it into two. Those are known as relative truth bodhicitta and absolute truth bodhicitta. So this is, and these true truth or relative truth bodhicitta and absolute truth bodhicitta is summarized within the 6 paramatas. And this teaching of the Dudjom Rinpoche now from on this on, and all this to the end is teachings on the principal part of the practices. Principle. It is within the 6 paramata practices. All in 6 paramata practices. It is the principal part of the practices. It is 6 paramata. I listed, of course, you all know, we all know the 6 paramatas, but the generosity paramata, morality paramata, passion paramata, and then joyful effort paramata, and concentration paramata, and as well as wisdom paramatas. Those are the 6 paramatas, and of course I will go over those little details, each point, as we continue our healing retreat. I will go over, and that is my brief talk for today about the Bodhicitta. So we concluded now, kind of like highlight the principal aspect of the reaching Bodhicitta and highlight, and that is the foundation of all the Buddha's enlightenment, and from there we begin to take then advancing in path and bhumis with the 6 paramata practice, according the context of the 6 paramatas, and then that is really the practices. And so that is my talk. And again, thank you very much everyone for participating, and thank you, Pachidele, thank you everyone, thank you. Again, now we do short meditation and then do the healing practices.